Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, which would have been part of the 2A Constitutionalist podcast had I known this was a thing a couple of hours ago, but I did not. Unfortunately, it was not a thing, so we're doing it as its own thing now, which will be how willfully ignorant people and tyrants are the only ones who really want more gun control, and mostly the willfully ignorant people only want it because they're too stupid to know what the fucking laws are that are already on the books, is what it is. And the tyrants are the motherfuckers who are pushing forward legislation that directly infringes upon the constitutional rights of the American people and deprives us of our right to keep and bear arms, which they have no legal fucking authority to do ever, is what it is, and should all see them getting, at minimum, life imprisonment for deprivation of rights or color of law, as well as oath breaking, etc. So, anyway, going to a couple things here. There was a thing by this Tom Grisham guy said, I've always said that polls saying Americans want more gun control depend on people not knowing current laws and not knowing what the proposed laws do. This new poll confirms that, and he posted a link on his Twitter account. That particular link was to the following article, which we're going to pull up right now as a screen share, and discuss how politicians, specifically in Congress and Senate, have no legal authority to actually pass these kind of unconstitutional laws, is what it is, dude. And it's by the founding of this country, basically. So, yeah, it was a media spin on gun control doesn't match voters' opinions. This is from Dr. John Lott. It said, red flag laws, which, by the way, are unconstitutional and break at least 8 different constitutional amendments, including almost all of the Bill of Rights, including the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, and 10th Amendments. The only things they do not break are the 3rd Amendment, because it's not quartering of soldiers, and I think that's about it, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, because they break everything else so 9 out of 10 amendments of the Bill of Rights they break, and then the 14th Amendment for due process. So anyway, as red flag laws, top priority Democrats and gun control advocates, polls show that Americans overwhelmingly support these measures by margins ranging from 2-1 to 3-1. Congress recently passed legislation providing funding for states that adopted these laws, which, by the way, is unconstitutional tyranny for many, many reasons, based on the fact that it's our fucking tax dollars going to basically fuck us, is what it is, dude. And they have no legal authority to literally fucking bribe states to pass red flag legislation. And it should be them being hauled up to fucking prison right then and there. Anybody voted yes on this bullshit, dude, entirely. So, anyway, said polling doesn't really gauge whether Americans understand how these laws operate. The surveys generally ask people if they support laws that, quote, allow guns to be temporarily confiscated by a judge from people considered by a judge to be a danger to themselves or others, which is exactly what I've been saying forever, by the way. This is the exact kind of shit I've been talking about on this channel for the past 2.5 to 3 years now, dude. It's just like every time that you have one of these retards like Nan Whaley or fucking dumbass Tim Ryan or whatever the case be, being like, or even that same vein of things, coming from Ohio and here and stuff, it's like that retard Cecil Thomas. It's like 85 to 90% of Americans support background checks. Well, he's bitching about universal background checks, and it's like, yes, sir, all the people that you polled do support background checks. They don't support your fucking universal bullshit, is what it is, to take away their right to do private sales, you fucking asscock. And that's the entire point. But of course, you're going to sit there and lie your fucking ass off because you're literally having a bunch of money shoved straight up your fucking ass, Cecil Thomas, from Moms Demand Action that funds your fucking campaigns, along with Bloomberg and every town for that matter. You piece of shit. Anyway, said respondents might reasonably assume that a normal legal process is being followed whereby complaints are made and witnesses are cross-examined. With a law that almost always involves fears of suicide, they might presume that mental health experts are involved in this process, Exactly, but they're not, and they never are, dude. And that's the whole point entirely. Said to examine the premise, the Crime Prevention Research Center, or CPRC, which Lot led, hired McClellan and Associates to survey 1,000 general election voters from July 24th to July 24th of 2022. Survey began by asking people whether they supported red flag laws. It then informed respondents that there are no hearings before an individual's guns are taken away, and there are no mental health care experts involved in this process at all. Said people initially answered by a 2-to-1 margin that they supported red flag laws, 58%, 29%, with the strongest support coming from Democrats. Yeah, shocker. Fucking douchebag Democrats want to take away your fucking constitutional right to bear anything, dude, is what it is. Said the wealthy, blacks, and Hispanics, and people age 18 to 29, so basically a bunch of people whose frontal lobes ain't fully developed yet, but yet somehow have voting rights in this country for the most part. Now, granted, at 25, you actually have your frontal lobe at that point fully developed, so it'd be those people are just idiots from 25 to 29. So most of those people, I'm sure, are 18. That was what it is. 18 to 24 probably would be my guess. So yeah, so the people that support the shit are Democrats, the wealthy, blacks, and Hispanics, and people age 18 to 29. Said, however, after being told that there are no court proceedings before an individual's guns are taken away and that there are no mental health care experts involved in this process, support changed to oppose 29% to 47%. Strong support plummeted from 34% to 14%, and strong opposition rose from 18% to 29%. Said, finally, people were asked if they prefer, quote, involuntary commitment or red flag laws. They were told that involuntary commitment laws provide for evaluations from mental health care experts, that an emergency court hearing takes place before a judge's decision, and that a lawyer is provided if a person cannot afford one. They are also told that under such rules, judges have a range of less extreme options, such as mandatory outpatient mental health care and weapons confiscation. Said survey respondents favored involuntary commitment by a 40% to 33% margin. Said only Democrats, the wealthy, blacks, and Asians supported red flag laws as their preferred option. Interesting. So where I take that was when they're talking about from, ranges of race and stuff like that. I would assume that not all these people are voting Democrat is what it is, dude. But it would be the people that are voting Democrat that are the highest among that list, followed by the massively wealthy, aka rich motherfuckers, is what it is, dude. Who, by the way, there's a lot of rich people who vote Democrat every fucking election cycle, dude. And it's the people that are voting out, people like Allison Russo back in office here in Ohio over fucking go around, dude, is what it is. So anyway. Said the shift in position by the strongest supporters of red flag laws when told about the laws is consistent with them being the least well informed. Shocker. Literally willfully ignorant, like I said, for years now. But this isn't the only evidence that is the problem. In April, the CPRC hired those same people to survey what people thought the percentage of violent crime committed using guns was. They found that those most strongly supporting gun control drastically overestimated the percentage of violent crime committed with firearms. Said, well, the average Democrat estimates that 56.9% of violent crime involves guns, and the typical Republican gave the answer 37%. The actual rate is less than 8%. That's crazy, man. So you got Dems are like, no, it's 57%. Republicans are like, no, it's 37%, and it's actually 8%. So that means 92% is not done with a gun at all, is what it is, man. So anyway, hell, what did Michael Brown do? He strong-armed that dude, just his fucking bare fist and physical, stature and shit like that, dude, is what it was. So we keep being told that there is a 90+% support in polls for universal background checks on the private transfer of guns. But when these measures have been on the ballot, they haven't been slam dunks. In 2016, despite Michael Bloomberg's overwhelming financial backing, ballot initiatives failed in Maine by 4% points and won in Nevada by less than 1%. And I guarantee you, if they did an audit of that 1% in Nevada, you'd find a shitload of dead people voting for this shit, dude. So Anyway, said Nevada Initiative had $20 million in funding behind it, amounting to an incredible $35 per vote. That's 3 times more than what was spent in opposition. In Maine, the opposition was outspent by a factor of 20. And in both states, the media coverage was overwhelmingly sympathetic to the gun control side. And that is exactly why the fucking mainstream media needs to charge criminal at this point, dude. I mean that seriously. They are literally the fucking cuck bitch arm for fucking pieces of shit like Michael Bloomberg, dude. And every single one of these motherfuckers needs to be behind bars, is what it is, at minimum right now, dude. And needs to be sued into fucking non-existence, what it is, bro. Like, seriously, at what point do we just start figuring out ways to sue the shit out of Bloomberg and his fucking cohorts, dude, and just take their fucking billions for ourselves and use it for good for once? Anyway, it said, well, the Nevada Initiative technically eked out a win. It wasn't able to go into effect because it had been inaccurately sold to voters as not costing taxpayers any money. Yeah, because of course it's going to cost you money, you dumb fucks. Said Senate Republicans passed gun control earlier this year to take guns off the political agenda for the fall, but part of the compromise entailed providing federal funding to encourage states to adopt red flag laws, which, by the way, like I said before, is unconstitutional because it's our fucking tax dollars going to do that shit, dude. And not to mention these asswipe piece of shit Democrats and rhinos, like that motherfucker Rob Portman, who is literally retiring at the end of the year. It's why JD Vance is going to take his fucking Senate seat now. Is a bunch of shit, dude. Like, that guy should have no power to fucking vote on this crap at all, dude. And neither should any of the rest of these asswipe fucking Republicans that were doing that crap, dude. That are a bunch of rhino cunts. Anyway, said Democrats continue to cite surveys seeming to show the gun control will play a role in November's election. Perhaps that's right. Or is it the perception more properly understood as an example of their consultants and pollsters not understanding the issues? Americans keep being told that by the media that they are overwhelmingly supporting of gun control laws. So why don't the laws get passed? Might it be that the polls are inaccurate and biased? Lott's own survey suggests just that. So, like I said, I'm not surprised in the least by this, dude. I'm fucking happy to see it be a thing, though, honestly, finally. And like I've said for years, dude, I think it's a bunch of BS entirely. It's people that are uninformed, they're misinformed, they're disinformed, they're fucking the sheep, the lemmings, whatever you want to call them at that point, that are going to be led to the fucking slaughter if any kind of actual dictatorship ever goes down in this country. And unfortunately, they'd be the first ones put up against the wall, is what it is, dude. And that's the thing. As someone who's been trying to save these people from their own, fatal ends, I'm kind of over it anymore, dude. If they're like, seriously, it's fucking 2022, people. If you're too fucking dumb to actually look into shit, if you're too dumb to actually understand the laws of your fucking state when it comes to Second Amendment related shit, dude, or anything else for that matter, maybe you're too dumb to have voting rights in this country ever again. And I'm just going to say it like it is right now, dude. If you're that fucking stupid that you're going to sit there and believe some fucking bullshit attack ad that's like 15, 20 seconds that talks about people, oh, they support extremist abortion, or, oh, they're fucking mega Republicans that support all the fucking gun mass murdering and all this other stupid shit like that, dude. It's like, if you're that fucking dumb to fall for that, please do not vote in the fucking midterms or ever again for that matter. And do everybody a favor and just give up your voting rights for the rest of your life, honestly, at this point, dude. Because you're definitely one of the people that doesn't need to have them to begin with, bro. And like I've mentioned many times in these different casts, dude, these are the kind of people of exactly why voting by default should not be a thing in this country, and why there should be some kind of, at bare minimum, some kind of test. I don't care if it's based on the Constitution. I don't care if it's based around an actual test that will be given to people getting citizenship in this country, or what the hell ever, dude. When you have people that can't even answer basic mathematical shit, dude, like how many dimes are in a dollar? By the way, it's 10. Like, no, maybe they shouldn't have voting rights, dude, is what it is. Seriously. Or you have a bunch of dumb fucking idiots that are asking these people these questions, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right. No, you dumbass. Stop fucking encouraging their wrong answers. All you're doing is proving that you're a fucking ignorant piece of shit, just like they are, or you don't give a shit because you're too much of a fucking ass clown that just wants a damn soundbite for some stupid fucking YouTube video is what it is, dude. And that's the problem with everybody in this country right now, honestly, dude. It's everybody wants their fucking 15 seconds of fame because they're a bunch of fucking entitled cunts, is what it is. And I'm so fucking sick and tired of it, bro. I really am. I really fucking am. And like I said, when I sit here for hours a fucking day doing research and, looking into stuff and, calling out shit is what it is on these casts and everything else like that, dude, and doing enough homework to understand, like, this is the corruption going on in my state or any other state for that matter. And people just don't want to listen or they don't care enough. And it's just frustrating as hell, man. And you try to talk to them about it and they're just like, oh, I don't give a fuck. We're still going to vote this way. And it's like, oh my God. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, my vote now cancels out your vote. Like, that's basically what it is, dude. And the problem is then you have stupid people on their side that will continue to vote that way, or I only have the one and they have, 7 or 8 or whatever it is, dude. So, it's just so retarded, dude. And that's the problem. People not being able to get on the same page in a lot of cases. It's just like, bro, get on the same page. Vote somebody who's not going to be a complete piece of shit that's against your fucking constitutional rights and do what needs to be done. Ironically enough, I think I convinced my mother this week to actually not vote Democrat in this election cycle. And that's a big step, by the way, for her, because she usually does. So I don't know if she's going to vote independent or what it's going to be at this point. I don't think she's going to vote Republican for every thing or whatever, but I think she'll vote Republican a few times here and there just because we've talked about it. And she's like, yeah, after watching a lot of those commercials, like, I'm so sick and tired of these Democrat people too. Like, I don't want to vote for either one of them. So, because we were talking about Whaley and Tim Ryan then. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see her vote JD Vance this go around. And I don't think she's going to vote DeWine because like I said, I don't know if I'm going to vote DeWine at this point, dude, unless it's based on the fact that it's, me talking to my General Assembly about, like, yeah, if this motherfucker does win re-election, you impeach his ass immediately and you remove him and Husted both and you go down to the third guy in line then kind of thing. So you could easily do something like that if they wanted to, if they had the supermajority to do so, man. If they maintain that shit in the fall here. And I think we're very highly likely right now for Ohio to become a 2/3 supermajority right now. It just depends on which 2 seats are going to flip red and if they can maintain the other, 64 in the House is what it is then. Because they already got the shit in the state Senate now. It's, pretty much 2/3 there is what it is. And yeah. Or actually, I think maybe it'd be like 3/4 maybe. Yeah, it's like 3/4, give or take. It's like 25 to 8 or something like that. So, yeah, they could easily just deal with a lot of this fucking scumbaggery. And if nothing else, open investigations into these Democrat people's financials and stuff like that, dude, at the state level. And my thing is, this is how I look at it right now. If nothing else happened in a 2-year time span, dude, except for investigations being open and, the General Assembly working on doing that stuff to, like, oust a bunch of people out of it is what it is, dude, I'd be perfectly okay with that because at least then it would be government doing something, dude. It would be government doing something to get rid of corruption then. Now, granted, do I think that's ever going to happen? Probably not. It'd be nice if it did, though. And, then we could actually have a real discussion about, hey, why is Ohio such a corrupt state when it comes to politics? And it's because, again, we keep allowing people to go back in and run for re-election again and again and again, and then flip-flop a General Assembly when they're termed out, and then run again and again and again. And then you wonder why people are so sick and tired of it, dude. And there's a reason why we have term limits in place. It's to get rid of these fuckers once and for all. And it's really simple as that, dude. So, yeah, like I said, it's interesting to see John Lott finally, prove a point there and be like, yeah, these people that are supporting of gun control either don't know the laws or don't care. Is what it is. I think a lot of cases it's not even that they don't know the laws; is they don't care about the laws. Is what it is, dude. It's like, oh, but if we pass this one more gun control law, somehow that's magically gonna make everything all better, and now criminals are not gonna have guns and be able to kill everybody, except they totally fucking are, because all you're doing is disarming the good guy that could potentially stop a fucking massacre. You dumb motherfuckers. And that's the problem right now. And like I've said many, many times in this series, at what point do we just tell these people to go fuck off, dude? And don't come back kind of thing is what it is, dude. And I think honestly now is more than that time in history. And if that means we balkanize as a country, that means we balkanize as a country. And if that means, something else happens, something else happens. Who the fuck knows, man? I think only God knows at this point. And that's why you gotta cross your T's and dot your I's and hope everything is, good to go when you're saying your prayers and eating your vitamins and being a real American is what it is, man. And yes, just to be clear on that one, I'm totally quoting Hulk Hogan from the 80s is what it is, dude, because why the fuck not, dude? Even though back in those days Macho Man was the superior wrestler and he was the superior guy on the mic because he had all those coke fueled fucking promos and stuff like that. So actually, if you ever watch any of those old promos of Macho Man, there was one that's really good. It's when the drugs kick in and he's talking about some stuff and he's like pulls off his sunglasses and he just like has like a full-blown freak out basically and then runs off. Also, the cream of the crop one is pretty good. That promo when he just has like a little fucking container thing of creamer is what it is. That's a good one. God, that dude was such a good guy, man. Well, I don't know about good guy in real life, but he was definitely a good wrestler, and yeah, he was awesome on the mic and stuff like that. And he unfortunately died way too early in his life. I believe he had a heart attack behind the wheel, and he crashed his car or something like that, and that's what actually killed him. So, yeah, horrible ending for that dude. And I think it was drug related, by the way, for all the steroid use in the 80s and shit like that. It would not surprise me, but again, it's one of them situations where you're damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of thing. And then I just realized there's a fucking cat outside my house right now. It's a Tux cat that kind of looks like the one I used to have as a kid. Interesting. Probably one of the neighbors is my guess. But, yeah, it's just chilling out there in the lawn. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, like I said, though, that's pretty much over the day, though. Just talking about the willful ignorance of Democrats, the rich, and a lot of people that tend to be minority Democrat voters is what it is for their lives, dude. So, and they all tend to be the most uninformed and willfully ignorant people. And like I said, they tend to be the ones that, according to Lott's own survey there, will fall for the Democrat BS is what it is, dude, and the Democrat lies of all the gun control crap, even though there's already all these laws on the books already, dude. And that's the thing, when you combine every single state law and every single federal law when it comes to gun control stuff, dude, it's like tens of thousands of fucking laws already in the books. And these people are like, oh, what if I put that one more on there? That one more that's going to restrict a bunch of people's constitutional rights to where they could legally sue the shit out of the fucking state for deprivation of rights under color of law. Yeah, enough is enough of this shit, dude. And then when you have to have people who are literally becoming their own attorneys because the red flag seizures don't actually constitute a criminal thing, so you don't get a public defender is what it is. It's a bunch of bullshit entirely, dude. And like I said, that's why it's such a violation of people's constitutional rights. Because you're committing all kinds of fucking crimes against these people. Self-incrimination, fucking illegal search and seizures, all of it. Cruel and unusual punishment is another one of them. States' rights, all that stuff like that, dude. So, really, enough is enough of the federal government, I think is what it is, dude, entirely. And it really is time to just, start the mass arrest at this point, dude, I think, honestly, and be done with it from there. Anyway, I'll be back sometime, probably tomorrow or Sunday or Monday or whatever the fuck, I don't even know. I'm probably going to be doing for those that are interested in what I'm going to be doing this weekend, most likely I'll be on, if Honda does his chats, I'll probably be on Honda's channel on Saturday night for his late night, and then his probably Gay for All one on Sunday then. If he does, that's if he sends me a link and stuff, which he has been a lot lately without me even asking. So hopefully he'll send me some more then, and I'll be on that. If he does his chat tomorrow, I don't know. He was gonna a couple weeks ago he was gonna do one, and then he didn't get a chance to do it because he had some other stuff to do the next day or whatever. So it all depends. Yeah, I'm happy to see him finally getting his life together, honestly, and deciding to give up the all the weed smoking and everything else like that, and basically now one of my biggest vices is just sugar, and I think honestly, if I could get off the sugar, I would be much better off and not have to deal with that vice anymore. And thankfully for me, I never been a smoker, never been a big drinker, never been, you know, any kind of recreational anything. So yeah, my thing would basically just be the sugar stuff and whatnot. And if I could get off the sugar and the unnecessary sugars and stuff like that, I might be able to do better off than if that'd be the case. So I don't know. Only time will tell. Hopefully it'll be, at some point here in the near future that I'll be able to figure out some stuff here. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, we'll be back at some point a few days from now, probably. If you want to hear me this weekend, I'll be hopefully part of a panel there on someone else's channel. And I don't know what we'll be talking about then. I might bring this actually up, and I'm thinking about it because it is something that should be talked about more, I think, with people, especially in the Second Amendment communities and stuff like that. Like, it's like, there's no reason to not discuss it, is what it is, when you have the ability to have a bunch of people's opinions be brought forth and stuff and be like, what do you guys think about this kind of thing? And if nothing else, it's a bunch of people that all, choose the same path kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, it's basically what I figured it was kind of thing, whatever the case be. Or it's like, yeah, I called that shit a couple years ago kind of thing or something like that. And I think, honestly, like I said, when you have these politicians, whether it be a Cecil Thomas or who the fuck ever else at a state or federal level, who is trying to push this crap as if, so many people support this garbage or whatever the case be, when in reality, it's a flat out lie. It's a fucking sham and a scam to basically lie to the American people and lie to the voter base, and then basically go around and be all like, oh, but no, these people totally support this thing. And it's like, you are such a lying sack of shit, motherfucker. And there is a reason why they're not allowing your fucking garbage amendments and do pro-gun legislation like constitutional carry. And it's why you can go fuck yourself, dude. And that's another thing, too, by the way, here in Ohio. Every single fucking time that constitutional carry was brought up for any kind of committee hearing, for any kind of vote, or any kind of floor vote, or anything else like that before it got into law there. And the same thing with Stand Your Ground in 2021. These motherfuckers kept trying to shove red flag laws into it as amendments. They kept trying to shove universal background garbage into it as amendments. And thankfully, every single time the Republican supermajority is like, no, fuck you. Fuck your fucking bullshit. Lay it upon the table. We're voting it out. We're telling you to go fuck off. And we're moving on to an actual vote, and this shit passes without your garbage in it, dude. And that's the thing entirely. And that's the one thing, though. As much as I don't like Bill Seitz, as much as I do not like that guy because I think he's a career rhino in Ohio State House right now, he was the only guy that basically did what needed to be done then and was like, no, we're going to lay this upon the table. And then they voted on it, and they were like, nope, voted down. Go fuck yourself, bitch. And yeah, they moved on with it, is what it was. And I'd like to point out the people that were pushing that shit, Catherine Ingram and Catherine Ingram and Pamela Hicks Hudson, are now both trying to run for the Ohio State Senate. They have literally flip-flopped our General Assembly now, which should have seen them thrown the fuck out of office through term limits this year to now try to run for state Senate seats. And I swear to fucking God, dude, if those two races fall Democrat, there should be investigations open immediately into both those women, because there's no way that they can win those seats legitimately, dude. Those two districts are falling Republican, very much so. And there's not even a toss-up there, dude. It should all be Republican when it's all said and done. I don't care if the people that are against them are unknowns at this point. If those don't fall Republican, I'd be shocked right now, dude. And like I said, there should definitely be audits into those two election seats and stuff like that if it does fall to Democrats. But anyway, so that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.